So I shared today to be very mindful of when you cut somebody off, make sure you cut the spirits that were trying to get to you through them. Make sure you cut them spirits off too, because if you don't, you're going to be playing the same wicked games with a different somebody. And I always share that with y'all. Like, if I meet somebody and I get to interacting with them and I'm like, oh, you remind me of such and such, that right there is my discernment starting to kick in. You remind me of such and such because that same spirit is in you. That same spirit operates in you, or is going to try to move through you to get to me. And so the other day I was telling y'all, like, again, when did I get off track, God? Like, I just don't understand. And I'm going to tell y'all what, when you get vulnerable, it's real easy to let in different faces that have them same exact spirits you just cut off in. So if I go back about like 3 years, I had already cut off different people, and it wasn't even no dramatic cutoff. I had cut them off, created the distance like 3 years ago, but you know, that had me like alone and isolated, and I just felt like I didn't have like family. I didn't have community, you know what I'm saying? And YouTube was good, but I couldn't, just talk to y'all about everything. Like, not like how it would be like if I had like a friend or family. And so what ended up happening was I did distance myself from certain family, but then I went back to friendships that I had already removed myself from twice. This is the conversation me and God have been having. I was like, why do I always go back to some stuff that you already had shown me wasn't for me? I don't understand that. And every time I go back, it's worse. Okay. So I had separated from family, but then I had got back in agreement with friends who had them exact same spirits moving through them. The two things in particular, because I know what they are. The two things in particular, the two spirits, it's the one that interferes and sabotage and literally tries to like go after what's yours, whether it's a man or whatever. And then the other one is like they always come in two. The other one is one that is entertained by what the other one is doing. And they don't speak up. They don't say nothing. Like, they're truly entertained by it. That's the gossip blog type of person. They know your business. They know what you're going through, but they entertained by it, and it makes them feel better about themselves. Okay. And also, when I throw this in here, anybody who is entertained by what the ops are doing, they are op too. It doesn't matter if they're not the ones doing it. It doesn't matter if she wasn't the one that was going after your man. It doesn't matter if she not the one that was talking bad about you, lying on you, going out her way to mess with what you got going on. It doesn't matter if she's not the one that was actually doing it. If she sat up there and was aware and left that unchecked, if she sat up there and was aware and laughed about it, if she sat up there and was aware and was entertained by it, that one's your op too. And that's something I have to like I can't even play games like this no more. I really cannot play games like this no more. And at the beginning of the year when I fasted, God showed me I was not where I could have been because I had them he showed me two particular people, but it was because I had those types of spirits still in my life, still having access to me, still could see what I had going on. In some instances, still telling them my business. Like, that is why you're not where you're supposed to be, Megan. I'm keeping it a buck with y'all, okay? So when I cut more family off this year, I had kind of already knew, like, Megan, be careful, because I will always have issues with my family and run to the same counterfeit, who at the end of the day was still treating me how they treated me. He still opposed the narrative. He still didn't want me to believe in myself, feel good about myself, all that stuff, right? But he was a listening ear when it came to my family. And you have to be very careful of that too, because in that moment you may be making me feel comfort because of that, but behind the scenes you're doing the same thing. You're just coming in from a different person. And I had dreamt so many things, like, y'all, I cannot make up the stuff. Like, God be showing me in the dreams, and it's like, why do I keep running back to them? So anyways, I knew when I had cut off more family and I was going to feel even more like, what's wrong with me? Like, why don't I get to have a door? I knew I was going to feel like that because that's what always happened. That's why I ain't never fully ultimately cut people off. And that's why it only has gotten worse, because I wouldn't just do what I was supposed to do. I knew not to run back to him, and I was being very adamant, like, don't call him, don't FaceTime him, you lonely, you need somebody to talk to the Lord. Like, that, I was really walking around the house like that, like, go talk to the Lord, don't run back to him. But what happened was somebody else was trying to push up on me and come in the picture, and that was somebody I was usually able to, like, ignore, and, like, I already know this ain't what this is. But because I was in such a vulnerable place of, like, feeling alone, I don't have nobody, then I opened that door. And when I opened that door, it was the same spirit just moving through a different man. what are you doing? And it didn't take me long to figure that out. And so I can thank God for that, because everything that's happened this year, it really, you might have had me for a few weeks, maybe even a month or two, but you weren't finna have me that long. Like, I've been through entirely too much stuff. That's what I'm saying. Your discernment should kick in at some point. I've been through entirely too much stuff for me to sit up here and not act like I'm not picking up on what is indeed going on. Once you start reminding me of a particular ex, that's my cue to go. Ain't no way you finna come over here and make me feel like a loser, and you are the loser. Ain't no way that's finna happen. If you're jealous, you gotta go. If you're trying to humble me, you gotta go. If you're trying to be me, you gotta go. I don't care if you're a male or female. I should have said female or male, because you would really expect that from females, but I went through a lot with males this year, actually. But I'm not dealing with the spirit. So this cutoff was different. It wasn't even about really like people. It's literally about the spiritual things you're cutting off. Like, it's like certain things I felt like they had a right to me my whole life. You don't. The spirit is not welcome. So if that's in you, if that's living in you, it's not welcome. And so I just want y'all to be mindful of that on your journey, no matter where you are in your process, no matter how old you are. Know that that's the thing. That's a trick of the enemy. Like, he ain't got no new tricks. He just got new faces, right? That's the thing. But also how he tries to do you like that when you are vulnerable, because you may like know better, but you don't feel good. And again, that's why it's really important that we learn that everything we need, every relationship we could possibly want, is Jesus. If it's not healthy for you, let it go. Because holding on to friends for the sake of having friends, holding on to family for the sake of having family, that was keeping me from my destiny. That was keeping me from getting to where God wanted me to be. Trying to start some stuff with a man just for the sake of having a man, that is never the move. That is never the move. You want God's best for you. You want God's will for you. You want who he has purposed you for, called you to, ordained for you. That desperation, and I know that can sound kind of cutthroat because you're like, I'm not desperate. No, because as humans, we all want that, right? Like, we want to be loved. We want to have people that love us. We want to have people we can go to, want to feel supported. Baby, it's me and God. At the end of the day, it's me and God. And getting rid of that and like needing people so bad and needing love from people so bad, it really helped me like really get clear about certain things and really be able to pick up on certain things.